Hi, Mrs. Paff. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Just a little concerned about a student of mine.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I would like you to tell me a little bit more about that, but before we get into anything, I know we've talked before, but I just kind of want to remind you that whatever we talk about here stays between us unless there's harm to yourself, others, or someone is trying to harm you or anybody
hmm
involved.
Okay, sounds
Okay?
good.
So, who's the student you're concerned about, Mrs. Paff?
It's Morgan. She's always been a great student, but about 2 weeks ago, I noticed a complete change in her demeanor. And I've tried to talk to her about it, but she's so careless right now and continues to just tell me that she'll be fine.
Okay, so I can see that you have some real concern for Morgan, and I know she's always been a straight A student for you and all her other teachers at that. And I can see where this can be kind of difficult as a teacher and not knowing how to handle this. So you have this student that you can usually count on and is always participating in class and always, you never have to worry about her grades. And now she's giving you some issues and you kind of are stuck.
Yeah. I know her parents are divorced, but that's nothing new. They have been since she was 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know her older brother just went off to college this year, and she was really close to him. And I heard her talking to some friends about how it's weird without him, and she doesn't like being at home as much all the time because she's bored and feels like her parents blame each other when she is with one of them.
Hmm. Yeah, that can definitely be hard on someone to not have that relationship, with a person that they spend all their time with. And now I imagine that she's probably just kind of home by herself with just her parents. And I bet that's a little weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, it's really, yeah, I'm sure it would be weird. But I just want to try and figure out like what it is we can do to like help her out because I want her to stay on top of her work and I don't want her to be so careless in class anymore and I'm just really concerned about her.
Okay, so what's the main thing that you would like to get out of today?
I think probably just keeping her straight A's, so getting her to turn in her work.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your concern for Morgan right now? With a 1 being, yeah, I'm not too concerned,
Mm-hmm.
and a 10 being that, this is serious and we really need to stop whatever's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then where would you like it to be?
I'd say I'm probably at about like a 5 right now, because she just doesn't seem herself, and I'm just worried about her.
Okay.
And I'd like to see that get to a 2.
Okay. When would you like to see this change, and what does a 2 look like to you?
Probably like within a month. And that would mean having her turn all of her work in, like I said before, and keeping all of her A's. I'd also like to see her like engage with her friends more and start attending her extracurriculars again.
Okay. Well, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, some people come in and they want a, quick fix within a day, but so basically, just kind of recap, make sure we're on the same page before we start looking at some solutions. You have Morgan, who's not turning in her work. She's not paying attention in class, and she's not actively involved anymore in her extracurriculars and in class, and you're kind of concerned about, the changes and kind of why.
Mm-hmm.
So her brother moved away to college, and it's been hard on her, and you would like to decrease this issue from a 5 to a 2 within a month. So this would mean she's turning in all her work and actively engaging with friends in class and outside of class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. That sounds like that hits on everything.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think we can do that. So let's start by talking about some potential goals that we could set to help Morgan out, which will also make your job as a teacher much easier, a lot less stressful, and I'm sure you feel like maybe you're doing something wrong as a teacher because this student is just, not being herself.
Right. Yeah.
And it's unusual. So when we talk about goal setting, we want them to be realistic and positive.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think we can do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So let's start with, I know you said you want to see her turn in her homework at least 4 out of the 5 nights.
Mm-hmm. That would be good.
Okay.
She could probably still keep her A that way if she's only just missing like one homework assignment, so a week. So if we do the 4 to 5, turning those in, then that would be good. I
Okay.
think.
What are some ways do you think you can make this happen?
Um, Well, I mean, we could have some sort of like check-in system, maybe. Pair her up with like a buddy, or um, I don't know if I should call home. I don't know if that's like a plausible thing or not. But I feel like she just kind of needs someone to like stay on top of her right now. Like she's just flying under the radar and like not being seen. So if she knows that she's being held accountable, I think that would be good.
Okay. Have you tried to call home at all yet?
No, not yet, because I've just been trying to talk to her. But obviously that hasn't really gotten me anywhere yet. So it's probably something that I need to do.
Okay. So you have talked to her.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else? I mean, does she have close friends that you have in class as well that maybe you could talk to them about it?
Yeah, I think probably talking to her close friends would be a good idea. And I could also check in with like her coaches too to see like if they know anything, because I know that she plays golf and basketball, so I could, or she played those, so I could like talk to them and see what they've been noticing.
Okay, that sounds good. Coaches are definitely a good resource,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a situation like this. Um, and I mean, what has your conversation with her looked like? Have you gotten anything out of her?
Oh, not really. She like just doesn't really like want to talk about it. She just says that she's fine.
Okay. So, first goal is to get that homework. So maybe if we think about, so she's going to turn it in 4 out of the 5
Mm-hmm.
nights. Um, do you think that maybe you could check in with her each day,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
have her maybe stay after class to make sure she gets it done, or at
Yeah.
the end of the day?
Yeah, I could do that. We could do it either at the end of class or at the end of the day. Probably at the end of class would be better because she's already there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have her. Well, you do have her seventh bell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she
Yeah.
could just stay after and just
Yeah, that's true.
until
That
she
would be
kind of
easy.
gets back
Right.
in the swing of
Mm-hmm.
things. And then she's getting it done. And then when
Mm-hmm.
she gets home, she doesn't have to focus on that. She can
Yeah.
try to maybe enjoy herself a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah, I think that would
Okay.
be good.
What about her behavior in class? What would you like? How do you think we can change that? Her not participating, her kind of acting out, almost like attention seeking.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just noticed that she just hasn't been herself in class, like not really participating as much as she used to. And again, it's very unlike her to not turn in her work. So, I mean, it started about 2 weeks ago. And it's just like happened out of the blue. So I'm just trying to catch it before things get worse.
Okay. So it it sounds like that you're very hopeful that she can pull out of the situation and get back
Mm-hmm.
on top of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you think maybe as far as participation, how do you call on students, or how do you